Guys, it's me, and today I'm going to show you a part of what we did with the old case glacier. We put an ATX motherboard in it. We had to modify it somewhat to make it all work. But let me just show you what it looks like right now, because remember, there was some hardware on the old case that really was kind of dodgy anyway and getting old. So let's just see what we got, and I'll explain it to you as we look around. First, let me sit down here. We're going to look at the front first. Now, you can see we have two drives in here right now because these are ATX drives, or ATA drives, because top one's a DVD-ROM, the bottom is a CD-RW drive. These are empty bays. This is where the LTO2 drive will probably be going. That's your standard 1.4 floppy drive. You can see it looks, we kept the original ATX or AT power button, except it's actually wired to a momentary push button on it, so that when you push it, it does what you would normally expect the AT button to do. The other buttons and the key switch right now are not hooked up. They might hook them up eventually, but right now it's not. Inside this machine, we have two Adaptec AHA2940 U2Ws and a network card. This has a built-in onboard video. It has a Pentium 4 running at about 2 gigahertz processor speed on it. And, oh yes, you probably can't see it down here. This has got your standard USB ports in the front here. They had to cut a hole in the case, as I call this my Frankenstein. It's got your two USB ports here. It has a serial, or it has a sound connector on it for a pair of earphones. I don't know if it got it right side up or upside down or whatever, but it works good, so it meets it. The only thing we did not have yet done is getting the original backplate reshaped to deal with everything, but there is no SCSI in here right now. There is two SCSI cards, but there's no SCSI because the original CD-ROM drive was good, but the CD-RW drive, the door is jammed, and we couldn't get working, so I just basically deep-sixed it. And since that was also the Terminator in this drive anyway, I figured I was just putting two ATA drives on a separate channel. So that's what we got on this is ATA DVD-ROM and a standard CD-RW drive here. And yes, it's running Slackware Linux. Now let's take a look at the back. Now the back had to be modified because, as I said, and I got the original plate that's still going to be cut with a Dremel tool. Okay? And it may be hard to see, but if you look, maybe I can get this thing to move around. Oh, hopefully crashing harder. You can see we don't have any kind of card slot here, okay? All the connectors are right here. This is wide open. Lots of airflow for the fans. Processor is actually running like a fairly temperately cool. You've got your standard baby ATX power adapter. I'm using one from the original Dell Dimension 2500 or 2400 that just came out of. As I said, there's something wrong with the video on it. I will show you what I'm talking about in a second. Right now, the point thing is that this Frankenstein is working on it. It's got your for now I got both a PS2 keyboard, a mouse, and Linux allows it. I also have a USB cordless mouse up here, right, so I can actually use it both with both mice for the text mode. But there is interference pattern on the screen. I'm going to show you real quick what I'm talking about here. Okay, now I'm going to turn this on. Now, in command line, it doesn't really look too bad. I got it set for really tiny text. Thinking about changing the text size, but I don't really quite understand how to do that on this system. I'm going to wait for my CRT to warm up here. This has been a hell of a dirty job. I mean, seriously. It's just okay. Screensaver. Is that what it is? There you go. Okay, now I don't think you can see how small that is. This is the command line, and command line looks good. But when I go into the video mode here on the Debian, so you can see it doesn't look too bad there. But sometimes you probably can't see it, but there's interference, there's like a raster interference on this video controller, and what it will do is it will cause the GPU will freeze up in X. I don't know why it does that. I think this machine has seen better days, and it's not working quite right. It does work okay, but like I said, it does freeze up, but it doesn't freeze up in the command line. It just freezes up in the GUI. I'm gonna have to try changing that and see if I can make the screen a little bit easier to see because it's kind of small. It's got as I said, it's got a gigabyte of RAM in it, and so we can go back here. You can see that, it's got very tiny text on it. And yes, it has a network on it. And, right now, what we're going to be doing is we're going to use this probably like we originally used Glacier for. It's going to become a file server in the network since it makes as much sense as any, since it's a small computer and it doesn't really need a lot of work to do its thing. It'll just work pretty good by itself. So that's what we'll do. And so anyway, sorry I'm grubby. Trust me, I worked on this case. It was filthy in there. Oh yes, I still have the original metal cover for the back of the drive decks. Let's see where I put that stupid thing. And let's see. I'll find it. We're able to totally disassemble the thing, and we disassembled it. And let's see. It's probably around here somewhere. Oh well. I know it's here. I don't know where I put it, but it's in here. Now, anyway, what this is the metal card slots and stuff. The whole assembly is totally disassemblable, so I could actually work on it separately and then later attach it back onto the machine. But like I said, I don't know where it went. Right now, it's obviously somewhere in this crazy, messy apartment of mine. Sitting here with all this stuff. No, well, I'll find it. Anyway, so yeah, when I get a chance, and I can get somebody who's more experienced than me to cut steel, I'm gonna have them cut the slot covers to put the ATX backplate on it. But for right now, it's working without that, and it's doing okay. The only thing I don't know what the story is right now is I can't figure out. Oh, I know where it is. I think it's in here. Here it is. This is the case cover. Now, let me explain, since I found it. Here we have, this is the back of the computer. Let me put this, I don't want to lose all my screws here. Anyway, so this is the back of the, glaciers, back of it. And what I did is after I finally figured out my measurements and got it right, now I have it all set here. You know, I know it looks like crap. Basically, the idea is that I know where to, using a combination square, I can square this up a bit better than this. And then I can cut that metal to size, and then I should be able to have the ATX backplate will come into this instead of sticking out like it is now. So that's what we're gonna do. Okay? So that's what we're doing. And yeah, oh, by the way, about the SLR5, I made a mistake. Oops, me. What did I do? Well, I forgot, or I didn't really look into it ahead of time. Double oops. That an SLR5 drive will not read SLR1 tapes. Oops. So basically I am SOL now. But on the other hand, maybe not, because SLR4 can read SLR1s, but I couldn't find any SLR4s that were not going to cost me an arm and a leg and a couple of pints of blood. But I did find an SLR3 that was going for about the same price, but after I already ordered the SLR5. Now, I did find some Magnus 2.5 gigabyte native backup, and will allow me to back to at least a couple packs of those, so at least I can put some put it to work. And what we're gonna do, we're gonna mount that into another case, because it is a half-height drive, and I'll show you that real quick. I said quick, I wasn't kidding. Okay, now this is, I'm going to prop it up so you can see. Okay, you got, it's a standard SCSI drive case. It's got a power supply in it for a half height drive. It's got a power supply, 2 convenience outlets, SCSI device select buttons. That's just cool. Pass through, it's got Centronics 50s, because the drive is narrow. And I tested the power supply, and yes, it does work. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna put that together, and then I can put that on any computer with a SCSI cable, such as I can put it on my Mac. I can put it on this one, whatever. You know, LTO drives going in this one because this one has a bay that's perfect for LTO. Whereas no other computer in the house has the room for LTO. That's why I chose to use Glacier's case, because Glacier's case had so many drive bays in the thing. It was amazingly beautiful in every way possible. Anyway, I'm running late, so I'll talk to you soon, and I'll let you know how it all goes. Okay? Bye-bye.